Hello heart seekers and nature lovers. Welcome to Miss Kiani. My name is Karen Weinman and I'm a Pampamesayoq, an Andean shaman trained by the Keros who live high in the Andes mountains of Peru. And these videos are to begin to let people know that they're more connected to nature than they realize, using traditions and practices that have been handed down from the Incas and maybe even before that, all the way through to the Keros and through to me. If it's a topic that fascinates you, please subscribe so that you'll be notified every time I load a new video. So today we're going to talk about Hucha, the healing power of Hucha. So maybe the best way in is to mention, the Eskimos that live right in these very cold regions with lots and lots of snow, right? It's so interesting because Eskimos have 25 words for snow, right? In the English language we say snow. For them, there are 25 different types of snow. It is a world that they have lived in for a long time, a world that they've mastered so that they can survive and that they know intimately. And so their language has accommodated that by having all these words for the different types of snow that are out there. Now, of course, the Keros are the same, but with energy. Yes? The Incas and the Keros, the Andeans, who live high in the mountains, live so close to nature, and they are such masters of living energy, this natural energy that flows through the universe. And they have many words for all the different types of energy that there is. And today, I would like to focus on two of these energies because they're kind of at the core of everything that our world is made of. And if you know what this is about, you can begin to be conscious about it. And if you start to come to workshops or read blogs or follow these videos, you're going to start to learn about how to work with these so that you can heal and raise your consciousness, yes, and find power again, yes. So first of all, of course, there is a vital force that flows through everything in the entire universe, right? Everything that Pachamama is in this material world is made of Sami. Sami is this vital energy that's flowing, all right? Everything's made of Sami, all right? Plants are made of Sami, trees, I am, my pen, the computer that we're interacting through right now, our cars, food, everything has Sami flowing through it, yes? And this keeps the world vibrant and alive, and we know what this feels like. I'm telling you, you've probably gone for a walk through nature. You've gone for a walk through a beautiful natural forest, or you've gone for a walk on the beach or along a mountainside, yes? And afterwards you felt so much better, yes? Because you're vibrant with Sami, all right? So you've had a taste of Sami, and of course, as human beings, all right, we are so unaware of this, all right? We know that obviously there's an energy that keeps us alive, but what is that, right? And it's Sami. Sami keeps us all alive. It's this vital force that flows through everything. Now, of course, as human beings, our species has something that separates us or makes us different from the rest of nature. And that is that we have egos and minds. And of course, as we have evolved over the last hundreds of years, and especially in the last century or two, what has happened? We have grown our minds and we have grown our egos. We have been hungry for knowledge, and we've explored and we've discovered science, right? And the more we have explored and grown our vocabulary of our minds and our egos, all right, the larger and the larger and the larger the ego and the mind has taken a place in our lives. We don't think twice about the fact that we are so out of balance because now our minds are a large part of who we are, as opposed to our bodies, our experience from our hearts, from our emotions, from our energy. All of these parts of us should be in balance. But in the current world that we live in, our egos and our minds play such a large part of of controlling our lifestyles, that we don't realize that when we receive Sami in our field, we start to slow it down by judging, by creating drama, by negative emotions, by being afraid. Every time we create a story with our minds that something is going to happen that's really bad or that's wrong or could go wrong, all right, what we're doing in that moment is we are slowing the Sami down to such a degree that starts to come almost to a standstill. And when it gets to that state, it is called Hucha. And Sami and Hucha are these two energies that we dance with all day without being conscious of it, without even knowing. We have forgotten the impact that we have, or the ways to work with these energies. So working with Sami and Hucha is vital. We get so caught up in our dramas and creating Hucha that what happens is that Hucha begins to fill our fields. Yeah, our energy field gets full of Hucha. Yes, our bodies start to get full of Hucha. We don't eat food that is vibrant. Yes, and maybe we're talking about negative things when we're eating our food, creating Hucha. In it goes. All right, we're unconscious about releasing Hucha, so it just sits in us. And when Hucha sits in us for long enough, it starts to take our life force. We start to get very tired. We feel sluggish in life. Yes, we start to physically get unwell. When Hucha sits in your tummy, in your stomach, in your digestive system for long enough, you'll start to have digestion problems. You won't flow like you normally do. When Hucha sits in our brains, because we're thinking things through so much, we're in such a strong headspace, we are creating Hucha, creating. And when a lot of Hucha has sat in our heads, we'll start to get headaches. Yes? So we start to manifest problems in our bodies and in our energy fields because of the Hucha that we carry. And if we carry them for long enough, we will start getting very sick. Yes? So knowing what Hucha is about is vital. Knowing that every time we judge somebody, knowing that every time we create a drama where we get aggressive, where we get so in somebody's face, when we take on an argument and a conflict with someone, we are creating Hucha. And we don't know, we're not conscious we even create it, and therefore we don't even know that we need to release it and that it's having a negative effect on us. And what can then happen is that we get so full of it that we start to dump it. We dump Hucha on the people around us, we dump it in nature, all right? We literally just dump it everywhere. All this heavy Hucha just sitting. Hucha cannot transform back to Sami unless a human being gets involved. You see, the gift of being human is that we have the power of choice. We have intention. And so the practices that we work with in the Andean tradition are learning about how to use this power as human beings, to take responsibility for the Hucha that we create, so that we can transform this Hucha within us and the Hucha that is around us and that is on the planet. Taking responsibility is powerful. It is empowering you when you know that you are carrying Hucha, and that when you know how to transform it into another state. So in the Andean tradition and in the Incan world, someone who was considered enlightened was someone who knew that when Sami came in, that they were going to start transforming it into another state like Hucha. They would know immediately how they would recognize that state, and they would learn how to transform this Hucha back into Sami before they let it float out their body again. That was a master of the living energy. And that is something that we teach in these practices, on these workshops that I teach around Pachamama, around the nature beings, around very real grounded practices of learning how to work with Hucha. Because you see, if you know how to work with Hucha, It means you can start healing your body. It means you can start clearing it out and releasing it out of your physical form. You can start releasing it from your energy field. Hucha is not just in the moment. Most of us, because we are unaware of Hucha, we have carried this Hucha from when we were children. Every experience that we've ever been through has built Hucha that we carry. And so cleaning this Hucha out is actually quite simple, but it's important. It has a huge impact on ourselves and the world that we live in. So releasing Hucha helps our bodies to heal. It helps our energy body to flow again. It helps our emotional well-being. Yes. It helps us to return to a state of health. It helps us to have healthy relationships with other people. It helps us to take our power back, to find our power, so that we don't get hooked into relationships and arguments and situations, that we can hold our power. We don't shroud it with something that's grey and muddy like Hucha. Yes? Then, when we clear Hucha, it does two other important things. It raises our consciousness. We start to have insight. We start to feel connected again to nature. And we remember our place in nature. So working with Hucha is vital, because then we're not only healing ourselves, we are giving beautiful energy to the people and the family and the friends and the world around us. And as we ripple it around the world, so we start to heal the planet. And we start to take responsibility for the Hucha we have dumped on the earth. And we can transform it, and we can bring our planet back to health. So can you hear why Hucha and Sami and this tradition is so vital for people to learn about in this time of great change? Because we as humans need to take responsibility again, and we can heal the world, and we can return ourselves and everything back to a vibrant state of being. We can regenerate, and we can remember the powers that we have, and grow and grow and grow our light, and raise consciousness for ourselves and everyone that is on the planet. Now you understand why Sami and Hucha is so vital to the very, very core of what we are learning about. So if these topics fascinate you, come and join me at on my YouTube channel. I write blogs about this, but more importantly, I run workshops where I teach people. It is not difficult, it just takes practice, and it takes remembering, and it helps us to bypass our egos so that we go straight into a place of the heart and of the body, and a grounded place to remember our place in the whole spectrum of life. So I offer workshops for people to become connected to nature again and to work with Hucha. And if you want to know more, please go to my website, miskiani.com. You can see all the workshops that are at play. There's all kinds of events, ways that you can tap in and learn. I hope you found this fascinating, and will subscribe if you are not subscribed yet. I hope it's found you fascinated, and that you're going to be more conscious about your behavior. Now that takes precision and mastering. Bye for now.